Hi, this is Rose McDonough, and you are joining me when I am making stuffed mushrooms today. Bob and I have to go to, well, we don't have to, we're choosing to go out to lunch with some friends of ours to their home because that's what we're doing. And we're making appetizers to take with us today. And I'm making stuffed mushrooms because, you know, I love stuffed mushrooms. I know not everybody else does. I am making them a meatless dish because the one person who is going to be there, not necessarily a vegetarian, but doesn't love meat all that much. So this is a great thing for us to take for her. I've already washed my mushrooms and I've already taken the stems out. It's easy. Usually you just rock it back and pull them out. Although I had some that were so tight today that I actually had to put my knife in and wrap around to pull those out. I'm looking at a mushroom like this. There's not going to be hardly any stuffing in here. So I'm not going to use that mushroom. I'm probably going to use it for stuffing. This is the kind of mushrooms that you want, but I just couldn't find a ton of them that were like that. And I already have gone ahead and I put a little bit of spray on the bottom, and I have them in my 13x9 pan. And I have a stick of butter, clarified. What does clarify mean? What's the difference between clarify and melt? Melt is when it really still looks very yellow. Clarify is when it's very clear looking because we've made it clear. So we have clarified the butter, and that's what I wanted to do. So I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit now, and I'm going to add my chopped up stems and pieces. First, so I should have said this first. First, I'm going to add my garlic because I just want to warm my garlic up a little bit. I've taken a clove of garlic. I've already minced it up. Really easy. You can put into here anything that you want. That's what's so amazing about making the stuffed mushrooms. If you want bacon, cook some bacon up. If you want some leftover ham thrown in there, chop some ham up and put them in here. Whatever you want to do, because again, almost all the recipes I show you, you make them to what you want them to be. All right, let me just finish chopping these up a little bit more. Some of these are a little bit bigger chunks than I wish them to be. All right, so I have those ready to go. They look pretty good in there. I should have it sizzling a little bit more, but we're okay. We're gonna throw these in here, and I'm gonna start sauteing them until they'll get brown and very, very tender. That's how I like it to be before I add all of my other ingredients. So all I'm going to do is take my hand, lift my skillet up, and fold the butter in. Always go from the outside into the inside. If you just start stirring, that's not going to work. You need to go from the outside to the inside, from the outside to the inside, so that you're not throwing anything over. Bob's behind the camera today, and he is making fun of me because of the way I fold. But nonetheless, this is the way it should be done. All right, so as this starts, it's nicely softened up. It's all covered with butter. Oh, sorry. All right, turning the heat up just a little bit. I turned it down while we were waiting on it. Now I'm going to add some other ingredients. You can add minced onion if you want. You can add a small chopped onion. I just have 2 teaspoons of minced onion, and I'm just going to toss those in there. This way, if it's people say they don't like chunks of onion, the minced onion just softens up in here. It hydrates with the butter, and it will be just a little bit flavorful without it being a big deal. After it cooks up a little bit more, I'm gonna add some breadcrumbs, about 2/3 of a cup, half of a cup, whatever. I'm using about 2/3. And I have 2 teaspoons of parsley. I've measured them out. I'm gonna put the parsley in my hand. And parsley, yeah, okay, it's a dried herb. It hardly has any smell to it. You want to crunch it, and when you crunch it, you are now breaking the oils loose, and now I'm getting flavor. If you have fresh parsley, absolutely go ahead and use your own fresh parsley and put in there. If you don't like parsley, you don't have to use parsley. I like it, and that's why I'm using this. So I'm gonna stir this up. We're gonna heat this through. Probably gonna take about 3 to 5 minutes for that. So I'm not gonna make you watch this whole thing happen, but about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add in the breadcrumbs. I also have about a half a cup of mozzarella cheese. I've occasionally used things like feta cheese into it, but right now this is what I'm using is the mozzarella cheese. It's nice because the cheese will hold the filling together a little bit. I wish you could smell what I am smelling. Oh, I love the smell of cooked mushrooms. So you can see how beautiful the parsley looks in here. You can see that all of the pieces are slightly browned, which is what I want them to be, and they're so fragrant because they're cooked. I'm gonna put my rubber scraper down. Of course, you know I was using a rubber scraper, and I'm going to add my breadcrumbs. You can use seasoned breadcrumbs. You can use plain, these happen to be Panko breadcrumbs, which means they're a little bit thicker than other breadcrumbs are. And again, you go from the outside because we don't want it to make a mess at all. From the outside to the inside, the outside to the inside. As I was turning on the video here, I turned the heat off. So there's just the residual heat that is left in the electric skillet. See how all the butter basically got absorbed by those breadcrumbs? That's what we want. If you're looking at this and you think, oh, there's just too much. If you look at it and you think that there's too much, you can always add a little more breadcrumbs to it. But this looks just to be about perfect. There's very, very little butter over in there. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do, let that cool off for just a second. And I'm going to add into it the mozzarella cheese. In fact, I should probably just move this off here so I can work on this and not worry about any more heat going to there. Thank you. So I've got this going on. I'm going to add in the mozzarella cheese, and then I'm going to start to fill them. There is no easy way to fill these mushroom caps. I'm sorry, there isn't. You have to use a small spoon, and you just start stuffing in. I know when Bob makes his, and yes, Bob makes his. He's made them a lot. This is something that he's tried and true, loves to make this. When he makes them, he would just take little fingerfuls, I believe, and stuff them in there. I'm going to use a small spoon. That's going to work better for me. All right, so I'm going to add the cheese to it now. And again, the cheese is what's going to hold it together. I don't care what kind of cheese you use. It's up to you, whatever your flavor is. If you prefer cheddar cheese, you can use cheddar. Maybe you don't want to have dairy. You don't have to use anything. It's just that I am going to use this because, you know, the people I know don't like meat. The one woman doesn't really like meat, but I don't have any issues, I don't believe, with using any dairy. So we're good to go. So you see how it's going to melt around in there just a little bit. That's it. And because in the form of I don't want to waste your time, I'm going to just start showing you. Take your mushroom cap. Get some spoonfuls. That was a terrible spoonful. It was very small. And I'm just going to start filling them. I use the back of the spoon. Push it down in. Usually at the end, I end up having a little more mushroom mixture than I do mushrooms. So you end up mounding them up on there. Once I've done this, you can either, one of two things, you can either bake them in the oven or you can microwave them. I'm going to cover these up with some plastic wrap, and I am going to microwave them to get them done. And I don't always keep them in this container when I'm going and doing this. Usually I have them just in a colander, but I wanted to show you how they'll all fit. Try to get about 2 to 3 containers of the 8-ounce mushrooms. If they're really big, you might easily go with 3. If they're less, I don't have quite 3 in this one. You decide how you want to do that. All right, so I'll show you a picture of this one. I'm all done stuffing it, but between now and then, I want to go ahead and pull some names. All right, so I want to pull some names so we can finish this off, and we'll show you the finished picture when we're all done. Megan Schaefer. I think this happens to be Megan Schaefer, who a long time ago used to be my student. If so, hello, Megan Schaefer. If you're not the Megan Schaefer, well then, hello to whoever you are anyway. All right, and Jana Marie Taylor, and she likes my pizza dough recipe. Thank you so much. For the rest of you, please like, subscribe if you want to make sure that you're getting the video every week when Brooke gets this loaded up, and leave comments. Tell me other things that you want to have done, because I don't know what else to do if you don't tell me. Thank you. Until we see each other again, have a good day. Coming in for a picture?
Hey!